So many people in the United States that I have known personally have this weird imagination about Germans to this day, that they think Germans are militant and they're super strict and they're super organized. Hi guys, welcome back to Jay Stephan. If you are new here, I'm Jay and my other half is Stephan. We live half a year here in Germany and the other half we live in California. So, I thought for today's video, sorry I'm in the car because we are running around trying to do last minute things before we get on the plane and get off back to USA. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun to do something that sometimes bothers me. In my experience and my opinion, some of these things that are shared about Germany are just incorrect, I think. So there are 5 points which I continuously come across over and over again. Actually, I'm going to turn off the car first because I'm waiting for Stephan. So I'm literally shooting this while I'm waiting for him. He's running the errands. But anyway, so there's 5 points that I continuously come across over and over again when I watch a lot of these, not all, but most of these YouTube videos of Americans. It's always Americans that talk about the same things over and over again, that when they move to Germany. I'm not saying this as, it's not an attack, but it's just an observation. So I thought, why not? I'm gonna go ahead and debunk these myths that they're discussing, and I think they're just untrue. So you might disagree with me, you might not, whatever the case. This is my experience again, and I think we should just get into this. So the first one I have on my list is everything is closed on Sundays in Germany. That is so false. That is completely incorrect. Restaurants, most of the restaurants are open. There are also some little eateries that might be open. In the summertime, there are ice cream shops that are open. And if you need groceries, then you organize yourself and get it all done. You have 6 days to do that stuff. Why do you need to buy groceries on a Sunday? And if you happen to miss out on something, some kind of food item or whatever, you can usually find essentials in a gas station, and gas stations are open. So if you need something like milk, or sometimes they'll even have butter, or they'll have frozen food. Sometimes they even have fruits and whatever. I've seen those things in a gas station. So if you're really desperate, you can always find it. It's not like you cannot find it. And the other thing is pharmacies. Of course, pharmacies are open. Not every pharmacy is open. There's an emergency pharmacy that is usually, there's 1 or maybe 2 in your region. So you can go online and you can look at which pharmacy is open. And you basically go there and you ring a doorbell or whatever it is. I think one time I actually did need something from the pharmacy on a Sunday. And in our region, we actually had to make a phone call and say, hey, we're coming, we need something. And then we went and then the person was there. So there's always a way to find these things if you really need it. But you have 6 days to organize your shit and take that one fucking day for yourself and let everyone else take a day off as well. So it's a wonderful thing that most things are closed, but not everything is closed. So there you go. Debunking myth number 1. And the next myth I'd like to debunk is regarding the Autobahn. And I have a feeling it's mainly people from the United States that have this misconception that on the Autobahn you can drive whatever the heck you want. There are no speed limits in Germany, which is not true. So there are sections on the Autobahn that there truly isn't a speed limit, but there are many sections on the Autobahn where there is a speed limit. From my experience, most of the Autobahn is a speed limit. Unless you're going long distance, then you have some stretches in between where there is no speed limit and you can drive, you know, as much as your car allows you to drive. But other than that, when we drive to Munich, it's about 45-minute drive. Most of the time there is a speed limit. There's always a sign, either it's an electric sign or it's a sign posted on the side of the Autobahn, and it tells you what speed you can drive. Next point is something I hear a lot of American expats talk about in their videos, which is Germans have a staring problem. No, absolutely not. Germans do stare, but if I go down to Midwest somewhere in some little old town and not in a big city, I get stared at as well. I went to Wichita, Kansas, and I got stared at all the time because I'm different. I'm not that typical white American from a small town looking guy. So I get stared at when I go there. I get stared at when I go to India, and I'm fucking Indian, and they stare me down because I look different. I speak differently, I have an accent, and I wear different clothes, and I act differently. So when I go to India, they stare me down as well. So it doesn't matter where you go in the world, people will stare because you are either unique to them, it's something different. It's not a stare where they're actually staring you down and giving you dirty looks. They're staring at you because you are just different. That's all it is. I felt uncomfortable before in Germany when people stare at me, but it's the same as uncomfortable that I feel if I go to, I don't know, some town in Iowa maybe. Same feeling that I get when I'm in India. I just feel uncomfortable. Anywhere you go in the world, if someone's staring at you, you will feel uncomfortable. But it is not malicious. It's not because they're staring at you because they hate you or they're staring at you up and down, looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing in their land? No, it's not like that. They're just looking at someone who is unique to them. Next one is that you need cash everywhere you go in Germany. And that is also almost not true. The reason I say almost not true is because years ago, yes, you needed cash everywhere. They did not accept credit cards in most of the places. But now it's different. Most everywhere you go, they accept credit cards. Before, they never used to accept credit cards in grocery shops. Now they do. If you go to a department store, you can pay with your credit card. When you go to a restaurant, you can pay with a credit card. When there's a smaller shop, then yes, you cannot pay with a credit card. Then you can use your EC card, which is basically kind of like your ATM card. So that is no longer true in Germany. If you have a credit card, you can survive. And something that I cannot get used to still, but that's not in Germany, that's just anywhere in Europe, is you have to pay for the restroom most of the places. You can still get away with it. But most of the places you need some kind of cash, 50 cents or whatever it is they charge. I don't know, 10 cents, 50 cents, a euro. But yeah, so I would recommend carrying cash or coins with you for that particular reason. But other than that, you can get by with carrying your credit card. If they don't accept it in one place, then go to another place. Why do you have to go to a place that don't accept credit cards? Now, this last one is my favorite because it's my biggest pet peeve. So many people in the United States that I have known personally have this weird imagination about Germans to this day, that they think Germans are militant and they're super strict and they're super organized. They're not militant. They're not super organized. They're just respectful of their time and other people's time. It's more of other people that they're constantly worried about, which I think it's total opposite, because that makes them very thoughtful. That makes them in tune with, you know, that they don't want to upset the other person. So for those reasons, I think Germans are actually the opposite. They are too nice, I think. When I compare Germans to the people in the United States, every time I go back to the United States, that's when I realize that Germans are typically, and I say Germans, but I actually mean Europeans, most European countries, are so much nicer. And that's another topic to be discussed on its own, is customer service. There's such a huge myth out there about customer service being ratchet in Germany. or in Europe in general. But no, that is such false statement. Customer service in the USA has gone down to shits. Anytime we go from Lufthansa to United or American or US Airways or whatever it is, you see a huge difference. You see a huge difference in the way people talk. You see a huge difference in the way the flight attendants talk and how the general public demand everything. And it's not nice. It really isn't nice. So when I compare customer service in Germany to USA, Germany is far more superior. There used to be a time that customer service in the United States was amazing, but now it no longer is. The 3 cities that I've seen it gone down the drain for sure is Miami, New York City, Los Angeles, and even in Palm Springs. And that's a small town in Palm Springs. And it's just terrible customer service. But at the end of the day, I think it's all what we experience. And so that's the reason I wanted to make this video, a short video, to share my experience of living half a year in Germany and half a year in the United States of America. That there are certain things that I feel like that need to be said because they're just not true for everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't offend anyone. That was not my intent. That is never my intent. I'm just sharing my experiences. But anyway, so I'm going to go back to running errands so we can get everything that we need to get done before we get on the plane to head back to California. And I will see you guys in the next video. I feel like going out.
Where?
I don't know, somewhere for a drink, but we shouldn't drink.
No, one thing is fine.